Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Stranger Days, and there's been this very interesting development happening this week on YouTube, where what we have here are a bunch of LGBT content creators who are accusing YouTube of discrimination in a class action lawsuit, and they are alleging that it unfairly restricts and demonetizes queer content. Now, if you followed anyone in the commentary community for quite some time, you know that we've all been complaining about demonetization and restriction and the algorithm coming back and, not sharing content because it's not deemed advertiser friendly. These are rumors that have come up. These are theories people have, and the LGBTQ community apparently is really upset and they're filing a suit. This is what it says. LGBTQ creators are suing YouTube and its parent company Google, alleging that the video platform discriminated against them by unfairly applying its policies in a way that restricts queer content from making money and being seen by a wide audience. Look, I hate to break it to you. I really do. It's not just you. It's everyone. It's everyone. The way the YouTube algorithm works in 2019 is like a real fickle bitch. It's a real fickle platform. And what it requires, what it relies on more than, let's say, your subscribers is active content engagement. Restrictions don't happen as much as you think that they do, but that's not to say that everyone hasn't been having the same problem. Views are down for a lot of people, and that's also because of how people are getting the content. Let me just put it to you guys like this. No one uses their subscription list anymore. It's all the homepage. It's all their homepage on their phone or on their TV or their device or whatever, and that is what YouTube recommends to them based upon their viewing habits. So if they don't actively engage with the channel they've been subscribed to for a while, or that channel doesn't put out constant content, the likelihood of people not seeing it tends to grow. It's not that YouTube is restricting LGBTQ content because they don't like it. They're located in San Francisco. They have a lot of LGBTQ people working for them, and they frequently tout that they are pro-inclusion, pro-LGBT, but they're still a business. They still run things a certain way. And I hate to break it to you guys, and I'm just going to be the bearer of bad news here. You're not getting special treatment, so stop complaining about it, because the rest of us are screwed too. Now, it goes on to say here that the lawsuit alleges that YouTube's policies are not applied evenly across content, allowing LGBTQ content to be marked as shocking and sexually explicit and hate speech to remain on the platform. But you see, the thing with that is, though, is, well, that's not entirely inaccurate. There's a lot of hate speech that gets left up and a lot of hate speech that gets pulled down. And there's a lot of sexually explicit content, whether it's gay, straight, or whatever, that gets left up, and a lot of sexually explicit content that gets pulled down. We're not seeing videos being taken down. People are complaining that they're not making any money. I hate to break it to you. The apocalypse was 2 years ago. We're all feeling the effects of that thing. You're not special. Stop acting like it. Now, they go on to say here that YouTube employs unlawful content regulation, distribution, and monetization practices that stigmatize, restrict, block, demonetize, and financially harm the LGBTQ plaintiffs and the greater LGBTQ plus community. Right, because, it's all about you. Right. I'm sorry. We've been living in this world, those of us who do this as a job for a couple of years now with this situation. And while we complain and bitch and moan, we haven't filed a lawsuit. Well, not the vast majority of us, but there has been another lawsuit that happened. And we're gonna be talking about that lawsuit, at least the aftermath of that, which is going to be a rude, stark awakening for the people who are behind this particular class action. Now, this class action suit, meaning plaintiffs with similar complaints are included and can join on, is being brought on by 8 YouTubers who say they've been affected by the platform's practices. And again, it's a lot of people have had that stuff happen to them. Now, the suit alleges that YouTube's policies that determine which videos are eligible for ads and monetization unfairly target LGBTQ content. YouTube says that its artificial intelligence system used to regulate content is viewpoint neutral, but the suit says the algorithms are applied to the identity of the video creator instead of the content itself. Now, I will give some credit to that in some respect. And what I mean by that is the way that the YouTube bot works is it can identify what you're saying, what words you're using, whether or not they're depicted at a person what severity of insult or comment you make. And if you're using a curse word, it can basically figure out the context of it. And then through there, determine whether or not the content will be monetizable. This happens for a lot of different things. The advertisers are shook after the adpocalypse, as well as the follow-up adpocalypses, right? You have all the stuff with Daddy O 5, and you got everything with all like the child exploitation thing. Advertisers have been shook for a long time, and YouTube has been trying to figure it out. They've been trying to figure out the best way to go about it. It's been 2 years this month since the dreaded yellow monetization symbol made its ugly ass appearance, and we're still dealing with it, even though the system has gotten itself a little bit better. But this is something that we all have been dealing with. These 8 creators are just upset that they're now being treated like the damn rest of us. And I'm sorry. You're not special. Figure out another way. Figure out another damn way to do it. Really, you have to. Now, many YouTubers have long insisted that these algorithms are programmed to demonetize and restrict videos with LGBTQ related terms and content in them. This is something that YouTube has repeatedly denied. Susan Wojcicki recently said in an interview that YouTube does not automatically demonetize LGBTQ content and insisted there shouldn't be words that cause instant demonetization. Now, there are words that do cause instant demonetization. Like if you, let's say, for example, you cover the nudes and you say anything involving about sexual assault or Me Too, instant demonetization. I had a video instantly demonetized yesterday, confirmed by manual review, that I talked about Brianna Wu and Gamergate. Didn't say anything bad in that video, didn't swear in that video, didn't make anything bad, completely demonetized because I guess I talked about Gamergate. And that's a trigger word. So it's not just you. It's not just sexual content that's having this problem. There's a lot of other reasons involved. But then again, this is about being the victim. And this is about playing the victim to a lawsuit and hoping to amass a lot of media attention. And that is going to ultimately be used as a way to try to either get YouTube to settle, right? Because, in their video, Queer Kid Stuff had said that it's time for YouTube to pay for the mental anguish they've caused and for everything else. And I'm like, again, I'm sorry. You know what? I don't agree with any of your content, but I don't think that YouTube's going to have to pay you for your mental health. I go see a therapist. It's covered under my insurance, but I still, I don't put that on YouTube. I make sure that that's something I have to do myself. And this is where we are right now. Everyone's trying to play the victim because they get as much media attention as they can in order to make as much money as they can, or to magically get YouTube to prioritize them above everybody else. Make no mistake, this is a damn power grab. This isn't about the LGBTQ community, because guess what? Their content isn't, they're not being blocked in making the content. This all boils down to money. It does. It all absolutely 100% boils down to money. And I get that. And I'm not upset at them for trying to play the game and make the cash, but I just want people to realize this is not an ideological thing. This is your pocketbook. Because look at this bit here about Bria and Chrissy. Now it says, Bria and Chrissy say the effect of YouTube's policies have meant that the married couple is no longer to make a living creating videos. The pair used to bring in 5 million views and 3,000 to 4,000 a month with their YouTube channel. But for the past 2 years, the couple's revenue has shrunk to 400 or 500 a month. And I have a bit of issue with that because I know how much I was making on my main channel, on this channel, 2 years ago when the apocalypse hit. And I never got 5 million views a month. I talked about all sorts of crazy things, and I was still pulling in a couple $1,000s a month on just this channel, not including anything else. And if they're talking about stuff and that's losing all that kind of money, then they're either not playing the game correctly, or their content's not that good and people just don't care anymore, or they have never once attempted to learn what the algorithm's looking for, what that bot is looking for, and they have gotten themselves in a corner where they have not learned to play the game, and now they're demanding that YouTube fix it. And that's just kind of the way I see it. Now, this guy right here is Chris Knight, and that's Knight with a K. And he called Google AdWords and or AdSense or whatever, and he recorded the conversation. I just want to play you a snippet of it because I think that it's quite telling as to what attitude he's taking here.
I need this escalated. No, I need this escalated. I need somebody to tell me exactly what's going on. This is the 5th time that you people have done this to my show. It is an LGBT gay show, and I feel like I'm being discriminated against because I'm gay. So there's no hatred in that show. It is a Christmas special, for fuck's sake. I mean, I need to know what the hell's going on here. Why do they keep doing this to us? So I need to talk to somebody that will tell me more than what you're telling me. I don't need to hear that it's been disapproved because of shocking content. There's nothing shocking in my show. So I need to talk to somebody. You need to connect me with somebody that will tell me what the hell's going on.
Hi there, sir. This is Joe, the floor manager. Am I talking to Christopher?
Yes, you are.
Hi, Christopher. How are you doing today?
It could be better. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you so much for asking. So, I was informed that you're looking for help in related to your AdWords account.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a shocking content information here, but we kind of have a problem with the video, I believe, if I'm not wrong.
So I need to understand what the problem is. I have multiple issues with this current particular campaign. In part, this is the 5th time that we have had a problem getting an ad. This particular ad, it has taken 6 days for me to get somebody like you to just tell me it's even shocking. 6 days. You're supposed to do it in 24 hours. We talked to people, this is the 4th call. We've talked to people that said they would get back to us within 2 hours reviewing it. So now you're telling me it has shocking content. I need to know exactly what you find shocking. And then I'd also like you to send me that in writing, because I'm going to challenge this. So please tell me, what is the shocking content?
We have an article.
What is the shocking content,
Sir,
specifically?
I do see that the video has the sexuality content about the gays and everything.
That is your shocking content? So
yeah, it comes under shocking content, sir.
So you're discriminating me against my sexuality? Is that what you're saying?
No, sir. I didn't do that to you, but the policies are, okay, the AdWords policies are under the violation, okay? The ad is violating the policies of advertising. I am not, okay? However, the article talks about if you have any content about sexuality or anything like that, that would actually violate the policy of AdWords under shocking content. That's the reason your ad has been disapproved.
Now, you could hear that obviously Chris was not happy with what was being said to him, and I get that. I'm not downplaying that at all. It does feel that the advertisers don't want the word LGBT or gay in their system. That's what they don't want. That's what the AdWords policy is. And it needs to be updated, obviously, but it's not enough to warrant a lawsuit, and it's certainly not enough to win a lawsuit. Now, I do want to point out and remind everyone that I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have a little bit of precedent here to go on. And that, of course, is PragerU. Yes, the conservative outlet PragerU, big little videos, big ideas, all BS, PragerU, sued YouTube a couple times now. In fact, actually, a judge threw out their lawsuit against Google and YouTube for censoring conservative content. And if you look at the entire point of this lawsuit, it's saying the exact same thing, but just aimed at a different group of people. Instead of conservatives, it's the LGBTQ. Now, this is what the judge said. The federal judge has thrown out the lawsuit filed by conservative nonprofit PragerU against Google, arguing that subsidiary YouTube did not violate First Amendment rights by partially censoring or limiting the organization's YouTube videos. Pending U.S. District Judge Lucy Coates' ruling Monday night that inherently serving as a privacy company, Google has no obligation to equally apply its services, or in this case, ostensible penalties. What that means is they don't have to do it if they don't want to. They don't have to promote anyone. They don't have to have anyone on their platform that they don't want to. They're not considered a public entity. Now, there's arguments to be made about, Facebook and Twitter and YouTube becoming public entities, becoming public utilities, and being run that way in order to secure that they fall under the First Amendment of the Constitution. But this is the whole situation where we are right now. It's a privately owned company. They can do with it what they want. Prager has been learning this the hard way. They filed 2 more lawsuits since this one was thrown out. The likelihood of those being thrown out are pretty high as well. The LGBTQ YouTubers, I get it. You guys want to make a living. You guys want to make your content. You guys very much want to do what you were doing in 2016 and the first little bit of 2017. You want to go back to that. I hate to break it to you. We don't live in that time anymore. We don't live in that time. And if you don't adapt, you die. And that, of course, is exactly where we find ourselves right here. If you want to do more, if you want to make that money again, then you have to go to your audience directly and ask for help. Like if you support my channel, you can always go and hit the join button for $4.99 a month. And there's going to be some new prices coming in here pretty soon. With different things that are going to, and that's a way to financially support me directly. That's a way to financially support me directly, or to support you if you want to go through and do that on your own channel. And considering that these people have massively large followings, it shouldn't be that difficult to do. Filing a lawsuit against YouTube is not going to be what changes things. I know that's what they want, but YouTube is up against a lot of bad entities. A lot of bad apples use the platform, and those bad apples get attention. And that attention then spooks the advertisers because, news outlets like to talk about YouTube in the negative because it's taking away views and clicks and money and revenue. And yes, those two are the same thing, but I want to reiterate that point. And it's taking all that away. So your beef is more with the social climate about the transition of power between in regards to what we used to do, the old guard and the new guard for content consumption and news consumption. That's where we find ourselves. This lawsuit will most likely fail. I'm just calling it now. And this could be a bit of an out there thing. If it's a class action, which means anyone can jump on board, then the LGBTQ content creators, that those 8 people right now, are going to want to open up the class action to bring in anyone who feels slighted by YouTube, because that is the only way you're going to get the attention and the support that you need in order to perhaps maybe get them to respond. But the problem with that is it means siding with your ideological opponents in order to fight back against the larger threat, which would be Big Daddy Google. You're not going to want to do that. This is what you're going to have to do, but you're not going to want to do that. And you're not going to want to do that because then it takes the attention off of you. It makes you no longer just the only victim. And looking at this lawsuit and looking at the video that people put out and all the things that they've been saying, and this is what we've been living with for 2 years, I cannot help but think this all boils down to just you've lost money and you're upset and you want special treatment and you're not getting it. Well, I hate to break it to you, Buttercup. None of us get special treatment. None of us are able to pull that off. Neither are you. You want to win, you got to team up with Prager University and other conservatives who have been deplatformed or been, silenced in their own words. And then you take on the company. Until then, no, you ain't got nothing. But I'll be fair. I could be wrong. I want to see policies change at YouTube as well. But this is clearly not the way to do it. Anyway, for the rest of you out there, if you've made it this far, I appreciate it. Be sure to leave your thoughts and your opinions. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day and peace out.